This conference will now be recorded.
Hey Srinivas, at what level you have uploaded these values?
Uploading the actual it to customer product location level.
Okay, so all the values are not matching or only few values are matching?
Actually, initially, as you told in the Excel sheet only, I am doing the RAN between,
Hmm.
and then same values I have copied into the .csv files. So at the time only the mismatch is happening for all the values. But when I'm uploading the same file, then the value synchronization between .csv and IBP planning view.
No, I'm not getting Srinivas. So the first step is in an Excel sheet, you apply random function, get some
Yes,
values, you copy those values into the CSV file, IBP template. At that time, the copy itself is failing.
copy means yes. At the time the values are different.
Okay.
But anyway,
Mm,
that is fine. But the values in .csv file and IBP planning both are same, so there will be no issue now.
okay. Okay. So then that means the way you're copying, I think you're not copying it exactly. So, I mean, so let me share my screen. I'm not sure.
Otherwise,
Maybe
it is
you might know this. Just want to share. Can you guys see my screen? Srinivas, can you see my screen?
yes, sir.
So if there are values like this, and so you apply any Excel formula on this. Okay. So now if you, this is what first you do. This is the actual quantity in Excel sheet. You apply some formula, you get these values, you're fine with it. Now this you want to copy this from into this into the CSV file. Okay, CSV file. Let's just say. So while you're copying, if you copy it, if you copy it like this, one second. So what I'm trying to say is here, you copy by the values, not the formula. Okay. So
Yes,
now
sir.
if I
I
click
did
here,
this.
you did this right. Yeah. One more thing. When you're loading this, for example, if you're loading these values for a product ID called, for example, like S12, the base unit of so these values will be loaded as per the base unit of measure of S12 product. Okay, that's the thing. So S12 in the product master of S12, so you might say that this is a product ID, and the base unit of measure is eaches. So that means all these are eaches. But in your planning view, you might be viewing the data in cases. So that's why you might see some different values because of the conversion factor. Second thing, if you don't maintain the conversion factor, that is the master data called as a UOM conversion factor, and this is mandatory, because there are a lot of standard key figures which are configured with the UOM conversion factor calculation. So it will have a three major attributes. That is, first is what is a product ID, what is the UOM2 ID, and then the UOM conversion factor. Okay, so here the product is S12, unit of measure 2 ID, you have to maintain cases. Conversion factor is, like, let's say is equal to 1 by 6. That means the case can hold 6 eaches. uh, you know then the conversion factor becomes 0.16, right? But you also have to maintain a conversion factor for eaches also. Even this is a mandatory item that you should load. Why? Because majority of the key figures at the request level, they always request at UOM2 level. For example, let me open the key figure calculations. This key figure calculation graph, this is kind of a fancy way of looking at stuff. So test config, let me open, not sure which key figure has the, it says statistical forecast quantity. So this is app key figure calculations app where you can see the calculation in a graphical chart, and then you can see all different things. So the green one means it's a stored. That's why there is this cube icon, which is signifying that it's a stored key figure. The value is there. But whereas if it is in gray color, that means a calculation is happening, and that's why you can see a calculator icon, as a suffix here. So what's happening here? So here the statistical forecast quantity key figure is at customer ID, location ID, week, product ID. Now this is getting multiplied with the UOM conversion factor, which was at a product ID, UOM2 ID, and the result will be sitting at this level, that is statistical forecast quantity. So this key figure, statistical forecast quantity, is at week, product, log, customer, UOM2. It was a unit of measure converted, values sit here. That's why the root attributes are UOM2 level, and the request level always, the request level is always at the conversion level. That's why if I open the statistical forecast also, so that's why when you're opening a key figure value called statistical forecast quantity, system will always does the UOM conversion, because you wrote the request level at the UOM conversion. If you haven't written it, then system obviously will not ask, and system will just show what is there inside the system. So the values that you have loaded here, 12, 13, 1, 2, 2, will be displayed, naturally. Let me open that. So this again, as a business requirement, we have to sit with the team and what are the data points that that has to be viewed with the UOM conversion. So then you have to go to that key figure, and then you have to, you see this statistical forecast quantity is a key figure. The base planning level is weak prod log customer only. So that is a level where the data gets stored. That means when you load this, let's say this is statistical forecast quantity. When you load this key figure, you have to get like product, location, customer. All these will be taken. But at the request level, it always does this UOM2. And what is this UOM2? It is simple multiplication between the UOM conversion factor into the key figure. So as it is enabled using the conversion factor, system will always does the multiplication of its base planning values with the conversion factor. If you haven't maintained even this record, system will not even display these values on the planning view. But in the backend, the values would be there. You run an integration, take these values, pass it on to S4 system, works fine. You open master data workbook, see the data from the backend, this icon, system will display it. But on the planning view or on the analytics sheet or anywhere, system does this conversion. That's why you have to also maintain this. Okay. So, and then, I mean, if you take care of this, then you will definitely see the data onto the planning view. Okay. So, I hope, Srinivas, you got something, and try it on tomorrow, and let's see how things will, if you get to see anything different. So today the topic would be data realignment. So yesterday, I think some of you guys aren't there in the session. So yesterday, what we have done is we have continued with the new product introduction. When we started, we faced some, the results are not coming accurately. So we fixed that. We have seen web-based planning, just like the way on Excel sheets we bring out the planning view templates, and we see the data, and then we change the data on Excel sheets. IBP has has come up with another app called web-based planning, where you can query, you can actually create a planning view, and then also, just like the way in Excel sheet, you can pick up a key figure, specify at what level you want to see, whether you want to see at an aggregated level or at a detail level, put some filters, and then view the data, and also can change the data, can save it. So that way, with the web also, you can actually play with your data and do the complete planning. And yesterday we have seen how to plot a supply chain network. uh, it comes under the analytics app itself. So um, just like the way we plot an analytics chart, we can also plot a supply chain network. So there we have to pick up the customer ID and then the locations ID if you want to filter it out. So system will display it, the interconnected network with proper icons, every icon signifying whether it's a customer icon, whether it's a customer entity or it's a location entity, etc. And also we can view the key figure data on how it is, how the key figure data is being there inside the system for this particular supply chain network. And then there is a we have also seen, like, there's this drop down for the key figures list. You can open the production receipts key figure and can see what's happening at your production plant, and also you can open the customer receipts, and you can see that how much of shipment is happening from your locations to your customers, and everything is being displayed as per a heat map, so that with the color coding, with the degree of the color, we can know how much of value has been been there inside the system, or you can also click on that and can actually see the value. So we have seen all that. So today we'll be starting with the data realignment. So data realignment, when this comes in use, what is the use of this? So over time, changes will come in any of the organization structure. So when the changes are coming in, you also have to accommodate those changes into your data, so that you wanted to see your data. When I say data, I mean the master data and also key figure data and also the planning objects. So they all also have to be changed, and then the old ones has to be changed, and it has to display with the new ones that are coming into the organization. So realignment, so we use data realignment for that. And data realignment is a process of adjusting your planning data, such as planning objects, master data, and key figure values, to reflect such business changes. And what could be those business changes? For example, if a customer should be served from another distribution center, so there's a DC1 and DC2 and DC3 are supplying to one customer, and later on we took a decision that we are replacing all these three DCs with one regional DC. So that is a change that is coming in. So now we want to change all our um, master datas and key figure datas. So like last quarter, if the DC1 has sent 100 units to customer, DC2 has sent 100, DC3 has sent 100. So now we'll do a data realignment, and after that system should show only one source of supply for customer, and it should show RDC, regional DC, sending it to customer, and a value of 300. Okay, so those things can be done with the data realignment. The second thing is product family changes. Product family changes is like, as I'm telling, yesterday we were talking on this kind of overview. So like you have a smartwatch family where where you have different SKUs under the smartwatch, Samsung smartwatch, and there is a digital watch product family where you have different SKUs mapped under digital watch. So in future, you want to club all the both these lines and product families and call them as next gen watches, or something like that. And now you want to change all your master data and key figure data and etc. Maybe you might be doing some reporting of your demand values at a smartwatch level, or maybe you are seeing your production at a digital watch level. But later on, once this next gen watches has been introduced, you want to view all your previous data also, even your historical data also, everything. You want to view it the um, at the next gen next gen smartwatch, as a data point. Everything has to change, and for that we use data realignment. Again, merge locations into one new location. So we have seen that two RDCs, I mean two DCs becoming one regional DC, something. Close a DC and reassign all producers and DC to customer. So something like that. I mean, you can think of different things on. And uh, so then in those cases we use data realignment. And how the adjustment will happen is based on the rules and criteria we set in the data realignment, the project that we create. And this is kind of a very very tricky thing. And because it naturally it disturbs the entire data set, and it changes everything. So we need to come up with the right process to to execute these activities. And we can't let anyone to go and create a realignment project and let him pick up a random value and then do a realignment, and it will change everything. So SAP has done its bit. It came up with a very nice process, and then when we are implementing it, we also have to suggest the same process and follow a discipline to actually execute this data realignment. So these are the steps. I there are 4 steps how we achieve this data realignment. So first is naturally the starting point, which is the requirement itself, the trigger. So the trigger is like kind of a business decision that comes in, kind of that split customer group into 2 smaller groups, or close a warehouse location, or planning data must be reliant to reflect the business decision. So demand planner and other planners can come up with this, and then we have a decision now, and this has to be changed in our entire IBP system, or it could be in a base version, or it could be in any version. This requirement has come in. Now what's the first step? First step is, so we have to convert all these business decisions into a data realignment rules. So we have to come up with the rules, and transform all these split customer group into smaller groups and close a warehouse location. We have to convert them into the data realignment rules, and the demand planner usually goes into the manage realignment rules application, which is part of the demand planner catalog. I go here. So you see, manage realignment rules. This is app. So with this app, we create all the realignment rules, and the demand planner goes in here to create the rules. What's a step 2? So the demand planner creates the rules, that he will not have the authority to approve it. So there has to be another, uh, another group of people who have to review that and who have to approve that. So, and obviously they'll do some kind of what's the impact of it, and what it all going to change, and etc etc. So review data alignment rules specified by the demand planner, for example, to identify dependencies between the realignment rules and clarify potential questions on realignment rules with the demand planner. So that is a step which has been carried out by the system administrator himself. So even he logs into the management realignment rules, but he will have a few options that demand planner will not be having. That is especially to approve it, or to to change the status, and etc. So once the review meeting is done, and then we can uh, schedule a realignment run. Again, system administrator does it. So it is through application job app. So we have seen this, right? An application job app where we can schedule almost everything. So it could be a supply chain S&OP operator like heuristics and optimizer, or it could be a copy operator, or etc. So everything can be done through application jobs, and he'll go and schedule the realignment run. And then finally, we review the logs of realignment run and see, what all stuff has been, adjusted, and how the changes are coming in, and then we can very well go and review it. Okay. So just we'll spend one more minute on here, and then we'll get into the system. So there are one thing is that there are some different statuses that will be assigned to a realignment project. So we call them as a realignment project because it's kind of a project itself, because you're bringing a big change into your system. First status is in preparation. When the demand planner is opening his managed realignment app, and he is creating some rules that the product ID has to change and this and that. So at that time, the status is in preparation. And after that, he has to set it to the review. Then the status becomes in review. So in the in review, the editing options will become very, very less. That means he cannot actually change the rules. Like, for example, location ID has to be changed from warehouse 1 to warehouse 2, and all other different things that he specifies. So those will not be edited, but there are other admin things that could be kind of edited in the in review stage. So he has to set it in review, and then the and then the administrator comes into the picture. So he comes into the picture, and he makes this as approved. So once a project is been approved, then after that it will not be editable. And after that he runs it. While he's running, it would be in execution. And after the running, it might be failed, or it might be successfully executed. It might be partially executed. Only few records are changed. Some didn't change. And in this phase of evolving different statuses, we can actually, what about the control Z? Like, how about going back and doing something? So every time we have to go back and then do it. So in the in review, we cannot actually edit everything. So at that time, first we have to come back into this in preparation status and then do the editing and then go forward. And then again, if there is anything wrong, if you want to change anything, you have to come back to the in review and then come back to the preparation and then do the changes. So that's what this slide is signifying. We'll also see how these different statuses comes in. But before that, let's get into our config and see what we want to realign. So let's keep things simple for the first scenario. So yesterday we're talking about S12 and S13, right? So let's do one thing. So S12 and S13. So let's introduce another product called S14 and then realign the entire S12 data onto the S14. Okay, let's do that. So for that, first I need to create the product itself. Then only the realignment can happen. So product ID. Just creating just one product called S14. So there is no such thing as S14 inside the product master data. I'm saving it, or let me give. Well, that's fine. Just keep S14. We'll just keep things simple. Save. It is successfully changing. That means there is no record as S14. Yeah, number of change records 1. Okay. Okay. It's done. The change. I introduced a new product called S14. Now I am going to realign the entire data of S12 onto S14. Okay. So I mean, let's just assume that I am the demand planner, I'm the system administrator, I am everything. So that I can go and change the statuses and everything. So I'm going to the manage realignment rules. Click on the star. So then the realignment project comes in. So it's a new realignment project. So it has 3 things: general information, then actual realignment steps, and then the logs. So now I'm giving a project name. It gave a name, test realign S14. What is the planning area? Status got changed to in preparation. See the first status that we talked about here. Then I have to maintain the steps. So first I'll give click on plus. That means it's a step 1. So you see, this is a project test realign S14. This is a first step. So you can give step 1, or if I have multiple steps, I can actually go step by step. But for now, I'm keeping things simple. So the first step is, or let's say step 1, mapping S14, mapping S12 product to S14. Then comes there are different options. Attribute mapping, where we actually map the attributes. We'll map product ID from S12 to S14. Then the processing options, how it has to process the entire data set based on the attributes that you mapped. And then there are some filters that's called selection. And for the key figures, if you want to do any change in the key figure calculations, we can actually specify that. So now I'm coming to the attribute mapping. Click on this plus. I need to pick an attribute. My attribute would be product ID. attribute is product ID, select option is equal to, and we have any something. So if I say any, then uh, everything would be changed to the product that I give here, right? So the source value is, but now I want to restrict it only to a particular value. The source value is S12. One second, I think I've selected DRP. This is not the planning area. Test config is our planning area. So that's why the product S12 is not coming in. Okay. I deleted that step, doing it once again. So you see, we have S12 as in S14, pick up S14. So this is the source value, and it has to change to a target value that I give here, that is S14. So this I've done. I have mapped the attributes. Now comes the processing options. So how we want to process the data with the mapped that the mapping that I have come up here. So I can also do multiple mappings here. So I can also say the product ID is, and I can pick S13 also, and then you say S14. Sorry, can also do this. Yeah, and I can also give a location ID. So for example here, in the location product master data, so if I filter on S12, so there are S12 product has been mapped to plant 101, plant 102, and also to warehouse. So I can actually go and say that product ID is S12, source is S12, transforming it to S14. And I can come to the location ID as plant 102, source value is plant 102, target value would be plant XYZ. So I can also go to that compound master data level also. So for now, just we'll keep things simple. So the processing options, adjust master data, that means we want to adjust all the master data that are available, and then it will change all the master data from S12 to S14. Adjust key figure values, adjust missing target planning objects, delete source planning objects. So we don't want to delete the source, but we just wanted to create a new entries in the entire system for the product called S14. So selections, I can give a selection. For example, I can give a selection. I'll say that planning unit. So subnetwork ID. So we have all the subnetwork. So I can pick a subnetwork called S12, and I can do the changes only into this network, right? Because our entire supply chain would be segmented into multiple subnetworks, like southeast and northwest and etc. This product is there in all the subnetworks, but I want to do a realignment only in one subnetwork. So in that case, we can actually slice our realignment step, and we want to do realignment only at a particular portion of our planning data, right? And also the selection is meant for filtering. Key figures, you want to change all key figures? Yes. Process all applicable key figures. Wherever there is a product, change it. But there are other key figures like you see maintenance activity and etc which we have configured. So there is no dimension of product itself. So in those cases, it will not do any realignment there. And then, or you can just say that I want to process only selected key figures. So I just want to realign only my historical data. Don't want to process it to my adjustments or anything else. Like for example, there could be some adjustments like demand adjustments or promotion adjustments where the planner has went and maintained a specific value for the product S12. So you don't want to touch that. You just want to do a realignment of your historical data. How much has been shipped, how much has been produced, how much has been forecasted, etc. So in those cases you can actually pick the key figures that you want. So this is grayed out. Why? Because this has been checked in. So you see, and comparatively, compared to other apps, this realignment app is, kind of very interactive, and then the errors pops up, very nicely. So, I mean, you just can go and then start playing with it. System would direct us in very nicely, and then, it will not be saved that easily also. So it always pops up some error messages saying that you haven't done this, you should be doing this, the selection is wrong, etc. So it is saying that please select either all or individual key for processing. So if I just apply it, if I try to save it, it will keep on throwing me an error message saying like step number one contains errors, please open step and fix the errors. So this is step one, only step that we have. The step status is in preparation. So what is the error? The error is that you please select either all or individual key figures for processing. We'll select process all. And then key figure processing options. So there are how the calculation has to happen. It will say that average of source, so it will actually take the average of the source and does it. You can select the horizon that change the key figure data only from 2011 to 2020, and keep the source key figure values, or either you delete the source key values, and all different options you can actually select. And then you done with the step one. It is still saying that there are errors. What's that? Yeah, I think that was a previous error. The real element project is saved. Um, test real and S14. This planning area status is in preparation. I have only one step, that is I want to map S12 to S14, and I can, as I told, that I can create multiple steps, and then I can sequence those steps, and then can start realigning my entire master data set. Now I have two statuses that I can do. One is set to in review, set to obsolete. So set to obsolete is, that means just take off this project. I mean, this is something is wrong with it, or it is done. Or maybe set it to review. So it was the status of the in review. Status is in review. Now what's the second status that we have to do? Once the demand planner I set it to review, the system administrator has to come in. He has to see, review this, and then he has to approve it. Or maybe if he finds anything wrong, he'll again set it back to in preparation, so that you can actually go and do some changes, and etc. So here, see, there is no edit option. I can just see the step one inside this project called test realign S14, mapping S14, and then the product ID is equal to S12. It has to change to S14. These are the processing options, etc. So there is no editing. So if I want to edit that, I want to keep a filter that this has to happen only for a particular subnetwork, then you actually have to go to in preparation and then do the changes. In the review, you will have a very less limited functionalities. Okay, so here what at max that what we can do is maybe delete the steps and etc. So but ideal process is go back to in preparation status, do all the changes. If you're fine with it, set to approved. The status of the real element project was changed to approved, so status is approved. So now this is ready to run. You can run it. So I'm going to the application jobs and I'll run this. See this app called application jobs. Click on plus to run a job. Realign. So these are the templates that are been created. So you can actually create a job template and you can use that job template and run it every now and then make all your selections there, kind of save it and reuse it. Just running it directly. So realign planning data is a job template. Scheduling options is immediately. Recurrence pattern is single run. Don't want to run it like a recurring pattern. I need to select the parameters, important thing. Project name is test S14. Yes, test real and S14. This is the project that I have created. System auto fills the planning area. It belongs to test config. There is only one step. Pick up the versions. Let's do it on all versions. So the other options, like if you have multiple steps, or you can also simulate and then can see the change, the impact of this realignment project on how what all it's going to change, etc. So just checking it, you can check this. It's saying that you can go ahead and schedule the job. If you could see a tick mark here, that means the project that it was being created is fine. Schedule has been scheduled. If I go to the application logs to see the okay, these are the logs. Execution of the project with name test real and 14 has started. Validation step number 1. You see 9 master datas may be affected by this change. See the attachment, because we changed the core one, that is a product master data. That's why all these things will be changed. If I change the maintenance thing, so it will disturb the maintenance master data, location resource maintenance job master data, and wherever the maintenance is there, it will be selected. So just delete, downloading this log, it will show me that where all this is getting impacted. Okay, so we can see all these master data. Customer, product, delivery, location, product, location, so all these are getting impacted. For base version, it is doing step by step. It is doing batch product, it is starting it. Customer product, it is changing it. So 18 planning objects will be changed. So I think we maintained a few key figures for the product S12. That's why at 18 places it is changing. So you can also do this for one version. You don't have to do it for in the base version. So whatever changes that you're doing, you can do it in one version and see the impact of it. Okay, there was an error. Okay, UOM conversion factor. Duplicate entry. So this might be Okay, creation of unpairing objects failed in the UM2. So you see every planning level, weak prod customer, one key figure is getting affected. Periods from 2018 to 2020, it's getting changed. Yeah, I think it is finished. So let's go back into the system and then can see. Let's see. Let me log off and log in back. So master data workbook. Product is would be anyway there. So let me put a filter on product ID in. It's 12, 13, 14. All three. Let's see all three. So we can see that S14 has been also sent to plant 101, sent to warehouse. S14 also sent to 102, and they also it also extended them to the subnetwork called S12. So initially there's only one product in S12. Now we have the S14 also. S13 is a new product that we just used to do some forecasting in the last session. So S13 was not really this thing. So S12 is maintained only for Amazon. That's why S14 has extended to Amazon. So okay, now let's get into the key figures and see how the key figure data has been propagated for S14. So consensus demand is there. I think we'll also get the S14. Let me take all this. So you can see that S12 product, Amazon, Target, eBay, the consensus demand 21460701356 is all everything got copied onto S14. So we haven't done anything for S14. Remember, we just made only one change, that we introduced this product called S14 and then we did the realignment. System has given it to every key figure and every master data. So let me bring up the other key figure called actuals quantity also. That was a historical data that we use. Okay, this is week 21 of 2019. We will not have any historical data for the current week, but we should be seeing it for 2018. So from week 20, I think. So I'm opening from week 17. There's 120 here for Amazon customer for S12. 120 is also being replicated for S14. So whatever data that we have for the history, it is also been extended to the S14. Just a copy paste of S12 to S14. So, and we have seen multiple processing options, based on the way the settings that we make, we can get the desired results that we want. Like for example, we said that I don't want to do an exact copy of S12, so this is exact copy, right? 120 has been copied to 120 for S14 product, so I want to do only 90% or etc etc, or only the average value. So you can very well achieve that in the key figure processing options, you remember. And also we can give a time frame, and can also you can select a key figure by key figure and can realign your data only for that key figure, or you can delete the source key figure data, and then I just don't want to see anything for S12 now. In going forward, I just want to see only something called S14. So you can also delete the source, and you can do all that with the data realignment. So that's about it. It's kind of a recap on what we how we have done with this. So first is identify the requirement, what exactly you wanted to change in your system, and then manage realignment app. This is app that we have to use. Create the project, and then what else we have done here? Create steps, and inside the steps we have different options like the actual attribute mapping, and then the processing options, whether you want to adjust only master data, or whether you want to adjust the key figure data, whether you want to create missing planning objects, etc. You have a selections, kind of a filtering, and then you have a key figure processing options. Pick only for a time period, and etc etc. So once you're done with that, save the project, and then set it to review, and then further set it to the what do you call approved. If you don't set it to approved, you will not see that app in the data in the application job. So let me show that to you. So only the approved ones would be displayed in the application jobs. So if I go to the home, I've set it to in review. The status was being changed to in review. Set it to preparation. Set it to preparation. Okay. So that's it. It was set to preparation. I'll go here, click on plus, in preparation, here in preparation, and preparation. Okay. 5. Oh, it is still there. Okay. Let's see whether I can schedule this or not. Oh, you can go ahead and schedule the job. Oh, do I need to save this or in preparation? All right. Let's schedule this, whether it will really work or throw an error after some time. Or maybe is it referring the old instance and trying to run the old? Okay, maybe as it was already active. it is already processed, maybe it is picking up. But if you create a new project and then let's see, I'll show it to you guys. S15 test config. Just saying here, I'll give some random values. PID ID equals to source value is pick anything. G11 battery. Oh, something else. So that's fine. So S12, just giving the random things, saving it. It is an in preparation only. Save it. This has been saved, but the status is in preparation. But if I go back here and if I try to run this, it will not be run. Go to the project name here. Type S15. Oh, it is still coming in. Oh, it is saying that I can go and run this job. Interesting. But it is not supposed to be visible itself if. And what's the point of having all the statuses then? Real and S15 has been started. I think it is picking up. I think it would it also execute. Okay, interesting observation. So yeah, let me make a note of this, guys, and tomorrow I'll try to confirm this whether the statuses and what's the point of status again. So yeah, I mean, we have seen the importance of status, that if it is set to review, no one can change it. Uh, so I mean, the demand planner has made the project, he has set it to review, and if that has been reviewed by other folks, like a system administrator or a managers or something, so they cannot go and change the data realignment steps and etc. So it has to be done by the one who has done the project. So realignment job, if run twice, that happens, what happens? It's like yeah, we can realign it for only 2 months at a time. There is this processing options, we can select it only for 2 months for the key figures. So it will only change the 2 months of duration of the data. The first realignment is, if you run twice, what happens? No, what happens, I mean, it's the same thing. So right now what we're doing is changing S12 to S14. So first time I ran it gave it realigned S12's Amazon actuals quantity of 120 to S14's Amazon actuals quantity of 120. Run it again, it would be still the same, but in between, if anything has changed, so let's just say that after realignment 1, if I change this to 200, run the realignment again, I'll say 200 here. So that's what max it happens. Is it like update or replace action? No, it's just an update thing. Because when we run realignment periodically as time series rolls into future, yes, we can run the realignment periodically. We can also schedule it through application job. And then can we realign for just 2 months? Yes, we can realign it for only 2 months. So yeah, the thing is, like, what is the importance of status? So I was assuming that if it is not approved, based on this fancy diagram here, so here it is saying that once it is approved, it becomes non-editable. That's fine. Then you can give it a run. and then it would be in execution, and then it might pass or fail or partially pass or etc. But even in this phase itself, it seems that we can schedule it. Not sure whether it's a glitch in the system, or maybe I don't know what's new has happened in this. So but yeah, but this is a kind of a process, the discipline that we have to follow, process discipline to realign and bring everyone into a consensus, all the different stakeholders, planners and administrators and etc. So yeah, coming back to this, manage element tab, select project to set to review, set to approved. Mm, application job is app where we have to pick it up and then choose the realign. Realign planning data is a job name. So once you select this, and inside this, pick up your project, give further selections on the versions, and or maybe you can simulate and see it, etc. Track it in the application logs. Verify the results. So this is what this is kind of a step-by-step procedure in achieving the data realignment. Any doubts, guys? Okay, so that's all for today. You guys want to have a session tomorrow or not? You guys will be available?
May be difficult because
Okay.
it's a long weekend here in US.
Oh, okay.
Monday
Sure.
we
Yeah.
have.
Okay. So Monday Indian time, you guys want to connect back or?
Monday is fine. Monday night.
Yeah. Monday night.
Yeah.
That would be Tuesday, right? For in India.
No, Monday night means Sunday night here. Sunday
Okay.
night.
Okay. So you mean to say Monday morning in Indian time, same time, Monday morning. So yeah. So just a recap, guys, on what we have seen. So we have covered control tower module, seen reportings and supply chain networks and alerts and web-based alerts and etc. etc. We have seen the model configuration, key figures, master data, planning objects, etc. etc. Supply planning we have seen, and in here we have seen like a heuristic, and then the optimizer, and then the master data that are needed, and then various scenarios on how we do supply planning in in-house and external procurement and this and that. We have seen all that, and then in the demand planning we have seen the stat forecast, seen the new product introduction, seen the realignment and other things. So like we have covered kind of a process in the maintenance planning activity that we have seen during the model configuration. So that's why I didn't mocked up a kind of a demand planning activity on like how we do it. But let me know, guys, if you really want to talk about a kind of a process flow, that what's the first step in the demand planning activity, etc. And but anyway, I'll be sharing a kind of a process flow, SAP best practices on how we should configure or model our entire demand planning process. Like first step is take the history, second step is cleanse the history, third step is run the forecast, and fourth step is bring a stakeholder, or maybe before running the forecast, you know uh, verify your promotions and compare, and then do some adjustments and do some other calculations. Any process chain layout, I think you missed that. The funny, you missed that. I mean, we have actually seen a process chain. Not sure whether you're there in the or not. Or when we are running application jobs, we have actually created a template, and then we sure, just a quickly I can show it to you. So this is application job template. I'm creating a template so that I can reuse it. Click on create. So this is process chain one. Single run. Is it a shared template or not? Whether you want to share it to other folks. The process chain. Maintain steps. So first step. What is the first step? Step one is first you want to do a copy operator, and then you want to run a heuristic. It's called S&OP operator, sales and operations planning operator. It covers everything, heuristic optimizer, blah blah blah. After that, again you want to copy the results, let's just say, and then maybe take a snapshot. So 4 steps. You can pick one, and then you can say this is second, or this is up. Save job template. Now all these are saved. So now you need to go and maintain the steps now. So process chain 1, this is a name. Steps are four steps. Scheduling option, the single run. First step, parameter selection. Operator type, you said copy operator. Now pick up the planning area. What planning area that this copy has to be done? So this is test config. What is operator? So you said it is a copy operator, but what exactly, what copy operator in it? So I have 3 copy operators that were configured inside the test config. One is populate MPS demand set plans, and next operator ID is this 10064. If you go to the that planning operators page, you can actually see what is the input key figure that has been configured, what is output key figure, what is the source and what is the target, what are the selections, filters, etc, etc. Yes, like a setting up variant. So yeah, so you pick up this, and then you also give a scenario, just give a version, give a comment, come to the step 2. This is SEM. Again, pick up the planning area. So first, initially we give the kind of operator that we are dealing in, and after that we have to go and pick up the actual this thing that has to be selected. Operator profile, it gives the supply propagation heuristic, delivery maximization, everything. So pick up forecast consumption. Again, I need to give a version, I need to give a subnetwork, at what subnetwork. So based on the operator that we select, system would ask the different inputs that it needs. Do everything, do a check. It says that there are a lot of issues. If the check is fine, you can schedule this job template, and you can actually see all things running as a chain. Yeah, so where were we? Yes, we just kind of and then next is S&OP process. This would be the next topic, and then the inventory optimization. These are the 2 things that are pending. And S&OP process, I'll talk about modeling a process, but that concept would be taken and it can be applied to anything. So it is up to our creativity or the way that we give a consulting solution to it. So for example, the maintenance activity, this is example that I'm talking yesterday also, that maintenance activity is before running your supply planning, you wanted to come up with your maintenance plan, and then there was a step-by-step plan that someone has to go and specify what maintenance activities are running by specifying 1 or a 0, and then it will calculate something, and then it will show some results, and someone has to go and do a review, and then he has to adjust and maintain some thresholds, and then further adjustments, and finally copy the available capacity values into the supply planning key figure, so that supply planning will respect this thing. So this is a process. Now you can you can convert this entire thing into different steps, and every step will have different tasks, and every task is being owned by a particular user group, and then what are the different things that has to be done. So that maintenance activity can be actually orchestrated as a different process itself, and then we'll see how this S&OP process concept can be taken and can create a process, and then and then kind of schedule that process. One process step would trigger another process steps, and people can go and say that it's a pass or a fail or it's in preparation, and then you can see that entire layout, and you can see where exactly you are stuck in this process. Graphical layout, Gantt charts, etc., can be seen in this. So the point is that don't just look it as a just a simple sales and operations planning, but the concept can be taken and can be leveraged for other planning process also. Then inventory optimization. Again, inventory optimization, we'll see the master data that are required to calculate the inventories, the safety stocks, etc., and then we'll also give it a run, and then we'll come up with some scenarios. And these are the two things that are remaining from our end. So today I'll be sharing some documents to you guys. The documents are IBP 100, IBP 200, IBP 300, IBP 400. So what are these hundreds? So if I go to the SAP IBP 200, I think some of you guys might be knowing IBP 200 is a course that SAP conducts. Going to the training shop in India. So, IBP 200. So this is a course, SAP IBP Platform Users and Configuration. It's a 5-day course. It's a classroom or a virtual classroom. So 5 days. I think this is going to be conducted in September of 2019 in SAP Bangalore. 1,75,000 is a price, and it says that recommended is you should complete IBP 100, which is nothing but IBP overview. And the content is this: outlining of IBP, user interfaces, Fury, Excel UI, navigating Excel UI, settings in Excel UI, configuration, creating an attribute, simple master data, master time profile, planning area, seen all that, model activation, how we do a check, consistency checks and activate, then reason codes. We have also seen reason codes, some outlining on cloud security, data integration, data import options, insert, update, replace, and all stuff like planning and reporting, how to create a template, how to do a simulation, analytics and reporting, like basically help a key figure, all the basic config. So that's it, it's done. It's a 5-day course. We have to shell this bucks, and then they'll give you a course handout. It would be a 400-page document. It will also have all the kind of a user guide, like step-by-step thing. So I have that file with me because I have attended this some time back, 3 years back. So, and apart from IBP 200, we also have IBP 300. This is advanced configuration, configuring, like different key figure calculation. So that was like a simple configure this thing. So here, advanced stuff, creating snapshot key figures and etc. And we have IBP 400. This is for inventory optimization. Again, I think it's a 4-day course. Okay, it's just a 2-day course. Okay, what happened to the pricing? Maybe it's not there in India. Again, this takes in Indian rupees, it takes almost like some 1 lakh or something. Again, some documentation will be given. I have IBP 400. Okay, cool. So funny is already at a leverage point. Sure. Funny has 100, 200, 300. I have 400 also. Funny, I'll share it to you and to the entire team. So that was kind of a SAP published content. Use that, and the only thing is that how SAP conducts this learning session. So they take one dummy plant and then this and that. So just try to customize it to your scenario and then try to leverage that content. And apart from that, I'll also share the slide content and other PDF documents that I have SAP published, and also other partners like Entrigo, Gita Cloud, and other folks. So some use cases and etc. So I'll be also sharing those content, some PDF documents to you. So yeah, expect some huge data dump into your mailboxes. So yeah. So that's it. Thanks all. We'll connect back on Monday morning. Yes, Madhu, please.
Venkat, one question. Monday morning, it's a Sunday night for us,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's
That's
a
why. That's
long
why.
weekend. It's a
Okay,
long
sure.
weekend, so we're going out. So Monday night may be okay for us, like which is a Tuesday morning for you.
Sure, fine. Yeah, we can do that on Tuesday. Yeah, and also we are also in the verge of completing our entire, sessions.
Yeah,
So
tour planning.
yeah, we have deviated from the plan. That's fine. Hope it is it adds some value to you guys. Uh, Two more topics, maybe a couple of days. And when can
So
we
we
expect
have to.
PPTs? How many more sessions are required to complete the course? Maybe Srinivas, another 3-4 sessions we're done with the course. The thing with the PPTs is, Srinivas, I mean, if you have observed, I'm not teaching from the PPTs. So 80% of the time I'm inside the system, and then I'm using the PPTs only to recap the sessions and then just give like what we have covered and etc. So it takes some time for me to cook up the PPTs. I am in the process of cooking up the PPTs. I completed 6 sessions, collating the data from here and there, taking the screenshots and etc. um, yeah, but I will definitely share, Srinivas. The PPTs would be coming in. I think I shared the overview PPT to you. I hope it helped. Other PPTs are also coming in. So yeah. So whatever, this is the folder that I follow, and all the days, 20 days, every day, what we have covered as a slide, a name to it. So I'll go and add more content and then give it to you guys.
So see you night and a Monday night for us, and which is Tuesday night for you.
Sure. Yeah. Tuesday night, I'll be sending the updated invite.
Sorry, Tuesday
I'll
morning
talk to
for
the
you.
Tuesday morning IST, then which is Monday night for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Sir, one more thing.
Yes, Srinivas, tell me.
Yeah, actually, demand planning, inventory
Uh-huh.
optimization, and then
Uh-huh.
the SOP will come in here, right?
Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So actually, the thing is that S&OP process will initiate the demand planning process, and but before that, the new product introduction. So as per the SAP standard best practices, because sales and operations planning is kind of a planning philosophy which was started in 1980, and not all organizations are using it. um, but it's the way that we want to process it. The first is new product introduction, and in this we also phase out some products and etc etc. After this, we'll do the demand planning, come up with some, like, let's just say the forecast is 100, and then comes the, or maybe do the inventory planning. After this, inventory target is 25, let's say. So now total demand is 125. You have to produce 125. Run your supply planning and see what you can actually do. You might do fulfillment, I will say. There's only 75. There's a huge gap. And then comes the finance planning. Just saying, I mean, if depends upon the business, so they'll come with their finance plan, all the revenue key figures, and based on the revenues, they might say that we have to do 150. So now see, every team has a different plan. Then we have to do some executive review where every team comes and sits and debate on their plan. Demand says that I need 100. Inventory says I also need 25. Supply says I can do only 75. No capacities or too many constraints. Finance says that forget about all that. We need to do 150, and then we'll come up with a plan, consensus plan. The plan could be 95. 95 is what everyone has to live with, and then S&OP closure kind of a thing where everyone copies their 95. Done. S&OP is done. So this is a sequence. Best practice. Some companies, they don't care inventory planning. Check this out. No financial planning. Check this out. No product introduction. Check this out. It's the way that we we configure it. So But yeah, the standard sequence is new product reduction, then you do your demand planning for the available products, for the new products, for the absolute products phase out, do inventory planning, come up with the inventory targets, safety stock at warehouse, safety stock at plant one, etc., etc. Do your supply planning, and then based on that, do your finance planning also. Just multiply it with the unit prices and get some revenues and get some costs and the margins and profits that you're going to make if it is required. Then do executive. So this is the sequence, Srinivas.
Yeah, Oshu answered.
Yeah. VMI planning in APO is equal inventory planning in IBP. Is that need to be clear? No, VMI is more for a vendor managed inventory, right? So this is more for your entire supply chain network. So you have 5 DCs and 3 warehouses and 10 plants, and then you have so much of demand, and then the demand is varying, and you have so many constraints that your DCs can hold only X, but warehouses are big, it can hold Y, different costs. And then the main thing, what is your serviceability? How much of service you want to give to your customers. So whenever a customer asks for a demand for a product, even it is overriding your initial plan forecasting said that the Amazon customer needs only 100, but now he's saying 200. So whether you want to really fulfill the Amazon customer, your serviceability is 99%. That means 99% of the demand you want to meet when the Amazon is asking for. So if that is the case, how much of the stocks you have to keep at your DCs, at your warehouses, at your plants, so that you will meet your demand variations, inventory targets. So that's what inventory optimization gives. It looks at all these inputs and it says that, okay, next quarter, these are the demands and this is serviceability you want to maintain. That's what you told me. For this customer 99%, this customer fine 75%. I don't want to meet this customer all the time. These are your costs and etc., and this is your inventory plan. Please stick to it so that you can meet your demand variance and etc. So that's what inventory optimization does. So vendor management inventory is like more on a kind of a at a vendor level. It was more from a production perspective, right? So but this is more from a supply perspective, supplying to the customer or supplying to the demands that are coming at your warehouses or DCs. I hope it added some more light into the topic. Funny. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, guys, then we'll catch up on Tuesday morning Indian time. That is Monday night for our US friends. Thanks all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Venkat.